Arizona, historic Scottsdale Stadium. Spring training home of the San Francisco Giants as they take on your world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Hi again, everybody. Along with Ned Colletti, I'm Tim Never. Kirsten Watson will join us in just a moment. And tonight, the Dodgers and Giants meet for the first time in 2 spring training meetings. They'll play at Camelback Ranch later on during the month. Walker Buehler makes his spring debut. Boy, he's turned into big game butane in October without question. And he gets to get up there on the bump tonight.
He's got great stuff. This kid really knows how to compete, too. When you think about some of the big games that he has pitched in already in a remarkably young career, young big league career, many, many big games you see right there on the screen. A lot of big moments for him. Always game for the situation. 0 earned runs, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 0 earned runs. Somebody that can battle. Not out there tonight to do that. Really out there to build some arm strength and to really get his pitches as fine-tuned as he can. First time out, you just want to build some strength and get a feel for your breaking ball.
And after Bauer's debut yesterday, Dodger pitchers have allowed just 1 earned run. 4 hits only. A.J. Pollock and the crew getting ready to get things started in Scottsdale. Dodgers, Giants, next. Will have right here on Sportsnet LA. We count you down to the first pitch. Walker Buehler to start with more on tonight's pitching plan. Here's Kirsten.
Thanks, Tim. Well, as you mentioned, Walker Buehler will get the start tonight. He'll take the first 2 innings. And I spoke with Dave ahead of the game. He said that Dustin May will come in with the second 2, taking in the 3rd and the 4th inning. Now, when I talked to Dave Roberts just about the plan for building up Walker Buehler this spring training, he really said that, Walker's taken it into his own hands. He feels really good about where he's at. He really knows his body very well, and he's excited to see where he continues to go this spring training and as he prepares himself for opening day.
Good to see him going on the 2nd of March. Last year, the Dodgers slow played him at the beginning, and it was obviously a much shorter season, and he was prepared come October, and that's certainly one thing the Dodgers hope he is again this year. But the longer regular season, we'll get to see Dustin May for 2 innings, Ned. That's always good. We don't know if Dustin will be a starter or a long reliever, but boy, did he contribute.
Yep, we'll have a chance to see 2 of the better pitchers in the organization and 2 strong right-handers. Walker's had a couple tough Aprils here and there. Spring training is 6 weeks long typically for a reason. It's really to build up your pitchers. As you say, Tim, he was a little bit slow played. To kind of keep his endurance up for the length of the season plus the month of October. And so the starts haven't been terrific. So this year you're starting this early, March 2nd. There's a chance to have when the season begins, he'll be pretty good.
See those 2 NL West managers exchanging lineup cards. Dave Roberts, Gabe Kapler. Alfonso Marquez in the middle there. He's the crew chief of this umpiring crew tonight. The way it finished up last year, 43-17 for the Dodgers. 6 games ahead of the Padres. Giants right in the middle of the pack. They were still 2 games under 500, but finished in 3rd place in the division.
People think the Giants are going to be better this year. They're close to 500 in a big-time rebuild right now. But starting to make some progress. And now you won't see it tonight, but a couple former Dodgers in there. That'll also probably help them as the season goes on.
So getting ready to start this one in Scottsdale. Just getting underway a couple of minutes late tonight. Under the lights. This is a ballpark, Ned, that has seen the shadow of many a ball player over the years.
Many great players have played in this stadium, and they rebuilt it maybe 20 years ago and then added to it about 5 or 6 years back with a nice pavilion in right field. But you're right, Tim. A lot of great players have played in this ballpark. I think years and years ago, the Boston Red Sox even trained here, way before spring training was what it is today.
Now, Rick Monday will join us later in the week, tells stories about how when he was roaming center field in this ball yard a long time ago. It's been here a while. It's the oldest one used by anybody in spring training in Arizona. Mookie Betts will lead things off tonight. His 2nd spring training appearance. A few at-bats tonight for Mookie. Corey Seager, World Series MVP. Then A.J. Pollock. Austin Barnes will bat cleanup. Edwin Rios at 3rd base tonight. And then Matt Davidson at 1st base. An interesting player. We'll talk about his pitching as well during the course of the ball game. Sheldon Neuse will be the designated hitter. Andy Burns is at 2nd base. He played yesterday. And James Outman will get the start in center field for the Dodgers tonight. And on the hill for San Francisco, Logan Webb, a guy the Giants are counting on for a big year. Last year, 11 starts. He went 3-4. His ERA much higher than he wanted it to be, 5.47. Allowed just 4 home runs, though. He struck out 46 over 54 in a third innings worked. He's out of the Sacramento area. One time he felt that he was probably going to have a future in football. He was a star quarterback in high school out of Rockland. But it was pitching. That was his calling card, and went through the minor leagues pretty quickly. Here he is, a big part of this Giant rotation.
No doubt he's going to try and work on his command this year. When you walk 24 big league hitters in 54 innings, you're asking for trouble. So I would think that that's probably something that he spent the winter thinking about. And as he gets ready for his first spring training appearance, something he's going to have to fine-tune to be successful at this level.
So third spring training game. Mookie Betts comes up to the plate. Dodgers 2-0. They beat the Rockies 10-0 yesterday. Giants tied the Texas Rangers yesterday 1-1, so they have yet to get their first victory. Mookie with some acknowledgments. Boy, isn't it going to be nice to see Mookie in a full season at Dodger Stadium? And 162 games on the docket for this guy. He is certainly a special player to watch.
A tremendous player.
First pitch of the ball game. In there for strike one. Called by home plate umpire Chad Whitson.
When you watch players from the other league, from the American League, you have a feel for them, and you know who's good and who isn't and who's a superstar. But you watch this kid play every day, you have a tremendous appreciation for really the upper level of the sport. He brings it every day.
I know it's been mentioned earlier, it was written about earlier in the week, but he was asked to assess his performance from last year. He said it was serviceable. Serviceable. Okay, well, then what's good?
He's obviously got a lot of expectation for himself because it was far more than serviceable. But you know what? There's a hunger to it. And the great ones, they have that extra gear not only in how they play and how they think, but what they expect.
Fouls this one off, still 1-2. And prior to the game today during early work, Mookie Betts was taking ground balls. He'll do that very often. He'll take ground balls at shortstop. He'll take ground balls at third. He'll take ground balls at second. Stays engaged in the game that way. It's just a different muscle memory that he uses aside from playing right field. But Mookie's an athlete, and he can play other positions. In fact, he did start a game last year at second base.
As I think back to last year at all the remarkable things that Dodger fans and we had a chance to see, his defense was a highlight. How about the postseason defense? He turned the Atlanta series, the LCS, around just by playing in the way he played in right field.
And the way that he can handle a wall.
Yes.
It's not an easy craft for any outfielder, especially when you're on the road. But he has it figured out. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mookie Betts. Top of the first, just underway in Scottsdale. The pitch. And this one's up in the air, foul down the right side.
What he also does to a very high degree, he pays attention. He pays attention to detail. Nothing gets past him. He understands every nuance. Some people say, well, we're going to work on the little things. There are no little things in the game, and he knows it. And so there's not one thing he takes off. Everything he takes to a fine-tuned area.
8th pitch of the at-bat right here, and he pops it up. Chadwick Tromp, the catcher, battling the night sky, and he wins that battle, makes the catch. Mookie's retired, 1 gone in the first. And his second in MVP voting to Freddie Freeman of Atlanta. Yeah, that's a serviceable year.
Yeah, I would think so. Right?
So 1 down. Another guy who was serviceable or better, Corey Seager. We'll find out what he did with that vehicle he took home in the World Series. And there's a strike call to Corey.
Since the day we drafted Corey Seager, he's had a great presence to him. Well beyond his years, he understands a lot about a lot of things and could figure it out and slow it down and put it into practice.
1 ball and 1 strike to Seager.
I had a conversation with him years ago. He was selected for the Futures game, the game before the All-Star game, where every team sends one or two players to it. And he was selected from the Dodgers.
And same pitch as the last one.
I told him, I said, look, you got to understand, you got a chance not to just be a big league player, but to be a great big league player. But it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. And I don't even know if you know yet all that it's going to take. But you got a shot to do it. So about 4 years go by, and I'm walking out to the TV set, and I see him with Mike Fiore, one of his agents. And we start talking, and I start walking away, and he says, hey, Ned, you remember what you told me 3-4 years ago? I said, I'll never forget it. He goes, neither do I. So he plays with that. As a 19-year-old kid, had the presence of mind to take some information with him and continues to put it to good use.
Swings and misses at the 2-2, and 2 men out. A.J. Pollock. Think about A.J. last year. He did contract COVID-19 right around the time his daughter was born, and he was considering opting out. His wife said, nope, you're an athlete, you're a competitor. There's no way you're going to be on this couch watching this team win the World Series. You're going to go be a part of it. And it turned out she was exactly right.
He was a big part of it last year. First year, a little bit of an adjustment year for him 2 seasons ago. But last year, you saw why the Dodgers went after him.
Oh, this one's hit well. But going back after it is Mauricio Dubon. He tracks it down for the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers in the top of the 1st inning. Walker Buehler will make his spring debut. And we return to Scottsdale. Score. Lamont Wade Jr. will lead off for San Francisco. Alex Dickerson to follow. Jason Bosler, Wilmer Flores at first base. And Ralph Dubon, Trump, Alcantara, and Luciano round out the San Francisco 9. Here is the pride of Henry Clay High School in Lexington, Kentucky, Walker Buehler. Last year, 8 starts, 1-0. The opponent average, really the impressive number there, 178 against. His first pitch of 2021 is inside ball 1.
He is not an easy at bat.
Early in the season, he had to zero in the target a little bit. As this one is lifted to right field and waiting for it, Mookie Betts. 1 down.
Yeah, we talked about Betts earlier and the extra gear that he has in his thought process and his play. Walker Buehler's a lot the same way. When it comes to a competitive moment, he wants it. He wants it more than probably a lot of people that are in the big leagues. I think he's kind of made for that. There's some players that are made for April to September, and there's others that are made for October. He's one of those people made for October, too.
Outside to Alex Dickerson. 1-0 to the Giant left fielder. And Buehler's 1-0. That's inside 2-0. Look at his first 4 starts from 2020. He walked 9 men in 19 innings. You're looking at 4 1/4 walks per 9, which was highly unusual for Walker Buehler. But then his next 4 starts, he cut that down to just a little over 1 walk per 9, where he walked 2 in his next 17 2/3 innings.
Well, that's why spring training is what it is. It's really to get your pitchers built up. He had a shortened spring last year, so as you get into those first starts of a regular season, he was still kind of finishing off spring training a little bit with different pressures on him than he had otherwise.
There's Outman. A sliding catch on a tailing line drive. 2 down. Catch by James Outman.
But you look at this rotation. We saw Trevor Bauer yesterday. We got Clayton, of course, Hall of Famer. David Price, another former Cy Young Award winner. Walker Buehler. As teams look at who are the probable pitchers coming up in a series, typically you can find 1 or 2 that you say, hey, we ought to have a shot against this guy. I don't know who you say that about with the Dodgers. I don't think you can say it about anybody. And whoever the 5th starter is, same thing.
That's right. 1-0 pitch to Vossler, the third baseman, fouled off. 1-1. I think we touched on it yesterday afternoon too. There's so many teams who don't know who their fifth starter is. Mark Pryor has a pretty good idea with the Dodgers who maybe the sixth and seventh and eighth starter could be. I mean, they have put themselves in a great position because things happen during the season, as you well know.
Oh yeah.
You don't know how you're going to have to go through the middle portion of the season or even late portion of the season. You're going to need arms.
No manager or general manager or president of baseball ops ever said, "Oh, we have too much pitching."
From down the left center. That's in for a hit. That's going to go to the wall. A.J. Pollock will track it down as Vossler rumbles into second, and he'll stop there with 2 down. So it'll be a double for Vossler. And the Giants with a little something going late in the first.
Good piece of hitting there by the kid. Got a pitch that is on the outer half of the plate. He goes that way. He doesn't try to do too much with it. He knows he's facing somebody with some velocity, so it's going to be difficult to pull a ball like that. Outer half, up in the zone. Just take it where you got a shift going on. Just take it the other way.
Vossler in scoring position. 2 down for Wilmer Flores, former New York Met, Arizona Diamondback, last year's first year with the Giants. Flores had primarily been either a middle or left side infielder, but now getting some time at first base.
Well, versatility, as we talk about all the time with the Dodgers, whether it's in your lineup or on how you play your defense. It's great to have.
Buehler gets a chance to work out of the stretch here in the first inning. Delivers high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Certainly something to consider from the pitching standpoint, is you want to be able to work in all situations at some point in time during spring training, simply because you're going to be in those situations during the regular season. In the air, shallow center, and Outman comes in and makes the foot first grab.
Nice jump.
All right, 2 nice plays by Outman. No score after 1. Champion Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Other scenes, Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger from the World Series. We see a lot of those images and reminders and memories of the great 2020 season. Throughout the course of not only spring training, but the regular season. Dave Roberts, a wonderful job managing everybody, the pitching staff, you name it. And even though this team has won 3 of the last 4 National League pennants, finally brought it home. A lot of help from this guy too, Austin Barnes, who was good in the postseason. And facing a new pitcher, this is Matt Wisler. So Logan Webb just went the 1 inning. Had a 1-2-3 inning with 1 strikeout, so he is done. And Matt Wisler comes on to face Barnes.
Austin Barnes had a terrific postseason. Offense, but really defense, really calling games and getting pitchers through tough innings. Every pitch in the postseason is magnified. Scouting reports, everything is just really fine-tuned. He did great. And the last pitch of the World Series, he put the ball in his pocket.
Well, how many guys get an opportunity to do that?
Exactly.
Not many, so.
Rick Dempsey was the last one for the Dodger uniform.
1988. There's a walk, so Wisler issues the free pass, and the Dodgers have their first base runner tonight.
I give Barnes a lot of credit. A few years ago, they sent him back to the minor leagues after having some major league time. A lot of guys could have sulked. A lot of guys could have been agitated by that. If he was probably more agitated at himself and really became better at everything that he needed to do. Always a pretty good catch and throw guy, but turn that up a notch and also turn the offense up. Talk about turning the offense up. This kid can flat out hit here.
Led Major League Baseball last year in terms of home runs per at bats. Fewer than 10 at bats, he'd hit a home run. That was 9.5. Every 9.5 at bats, he's hitting one out of the yard.
And when he hits him out of the yard, you're talking about out of the yard. No cheap home runs here from Mr. Rios.
No. One on and nobody out of the pitch high, and it's 1-1. Remember the one he hit in Arizona?
Oh, goodness.
It hit the steel beam that holds the huge scoreboard in center field. It hit the beam, and then I think that's where StatCast stopped. And he got cheated.
Oh, yeah. They said it was like 424 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's probably another 100 feet had it landed.
Yeah. You know, you'd figure he would have a shot to hit the longest home run by a Dodger last year, but he did not even in the top two. Gavin Lux hit one in Colorado that was, I think I want to say 453 off the top of my head. And then Corey Seager had the next one. It was in the 440s. And then I think Rio's numbers started to show up.
Good take right there. 1-2 pitch. Whistler trying to get you to chase a little bit. Held off. That's what you look for in your younger players in the spring. Really their identification of a strike zone, their ability to slow it down, whether it's now or whether it's in the regular season.
2-2. Fought off. I think you got to be happy for the Miami native and what he did last year and how he contributed. Yeah, this is a pretty loaded roster for the Dodgers too. You know, he'll contribute some way, shape, or form. Just a matter of where and when. Three-two.
Good take there too. Not easy to stay off that pitch.
Chadwick Tromp, we noticed in the last
cheat there a little bit.
Yeah, last couple of years we see more catchers catching the ball up like that. Seventh pitch of the at bat, and he's walked him. So 2 straight walks for Matt Whistler.
Excellent at bat right there.
What's up, everybody? This is your MLB news and games, and I'll see you guys next time. And make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you guys stay up to date with the news and games of your Oakland Athletics and your San Francisco Giants. Until next time, I'll see you guys next on your MLB News and Games Johnson channel.